Almost Reality. Yeah, I worked really closely with Walton Goggins on this one film. It's pretty cool, man. Adrian Brody was tossing around a football with us between takes. You know, Mahershala Ali was just really getting started. And Lawrence Fishburne, Topher Grace, they're pretty cool too. Technically, everything I said is true. In reality, I was a stand-in for Walton Goggins on the movie Predators, featuring all those people I mentioned. In case you don't know, a stand-in stands around while they adjust camera and lights so that the star doesn't have to stand there doing that. And generally, they get someone who looks vaguely like the person. They dress you in the same colors and things so that they can light appropriately. Yeah, so if you were to ask any one of those people if they know Heath Allen, they'd have no idea who you're talking about. Okay, but big time special effects guy Greg Nicotero did get a little snappy with me when I was just doing what I was told and wrestling with one of the alien predator dogs. True, technically, I mean, as a stand-in, they tell you to do whatever the actor's going to do in the scene so they can frame up the shot and get it all lit. And in this scene, I was laying on the ground in some national park around Austin, and they had a big animatronic predator dog special effects thing that was going to be hovering over me and drooling. And they were like, oh yeah, put your hand up, because he's like trying to hold it, fend it off or whatever. And I did what I was told. And Greg Nicotero was like, don't touch the predator dog. And I was like, sorry, I was told to touch the predator dog. Yeah, I still get residual checks from my appearance on Friday Night Lights, so that's awesome. Technically true, I do get residual checks from my small 3-line appearance in season 5, episode 4 of Friday Night Lights, where I played an English teacher who was arguing with a student trying to bring her thug friends to the school luau, but they don't go to this school, so they can't come in. And then Connie Britton comes in and they argue. If I'm lucky, my residual checks might be able to buy a cheap burrito somewhere. Usually not. Sometimes they're not even worth the postage it took to send them to me. If you ask Connie Britton who I am, she'll have no idea. Oh man, me and Mike Judge go way back. I worked with him several times. I remember this one day on set when I was in the van with Mike and the director of photography, and we were getting a police escort through traffic lights so we could just blow right through them. And I had to drive this $80,000 BMW down this dirt road. And so I had this walkie-talkie, and Mike was telling me over the walkie-talkie, hey man, drive that $80,000 BMW faster around that corner. And I was like, okay, Mike Judge. And then we were done and we all went out for barbecue. Man, it was awesome. All technically true, because I was a photo double for Jason Bateman on the film Extract. Now, photo double is when they need to do some more reshoots after the film is basically wrapped, but they realize a few scenes they need to get, and they're not going to bring the star back to do them, to do things like drive a car down a road or be seen from really far away getting out of the car and going into a hotel. So they sent me to a hairdresser with a picture of what Jason Bateman looked like in the movie, and they kind of cut my hair like his and everything. And then I spent the day just doing wide shots, things like driving a car and walking into a hotel from really far away. If you ask Mike Judge, who's Heath Allen? He'll have no idea. First time I worked with Mike was on Idiocracy. That was fun. Yeah, I remember this one day when I made him laugh. That felt real good. I was an extra on Idiocracy. At one point I was in a line for an amusement park. Cut from the film, you don't see that at all. And another time I was one of the prisoners in an orange jumpsuit in these cells where Luke Wilson was walking past us. You don't see me anywhere in the film, but it is true. One day I was sitting there between takes in the cell, just with this maniacal prisoner look on my face, and Mike Judge was talking to one of the other crew members or whatever, and just happened to look over at me sitting there looking crazy, and he chuckled, and I felt real good. Have I worked with Robert Rodriguez? Of course I have, several times. This one film, Jeremy Piven was the villain, and I was the agent who captured him. In fact, I got to play several roles in that film. Technically true. In Spy Kids 4, at the very end, you can see me very briefly dragging Jeremy Piven off by the arm with a whole group of other agents. And in other places in the film, I'm in the background selling hot dogs, and you can absolutely not see me in a big silver astronaut suit behind another guy in a big silver astronaut suit grabbing a glowing rock. And in Planet Terror, I believe, you can never see me anywhere, even though I was in a mask and part of Bruce Willis's army of soldiers, and I laid down dead on the ground as a dead body at some point. No idea. I couldn't even identify myself in that film if I am indeed in it. And if you were to ask Robert Rodriguez who Heath Allen is, he'll have no idea. And my face is on a movie poster with Ed Begley Jr. and Patty Guggenheim, who you might know as Madison with a Y, but not where you think, from She-Hulk. Again, true. I'm in the movie Don't Tell Larry, which comes out June 20th and is awesome. It has those two and a bunch of other really cool people. That is not the poster they ended up going with officially once we got distribution, but it exists as a poster and I'm on it.